Hi, this is Miss Cindy, and I'm back again. If you know I'm back, it's because I'm going to do a craft. This next craft that I'm going to do is really super challenging because this is something I have never ever done before. During the holidays, my youngest son was able to make it home for Christmas, and I was really excited to show him the wood step stool that I did, the Egyptian step stool, which I do have a video of. Anyway, he saw it and he went crazy over it. And he said I did a really good job. And he said that if I can make that step stool, then I could also build him a speaker box for his car. Well, you know, we laughed about it. I'm not building any speaker box. I do, you know, little stuff. But anyway, he said, and it would be cool if I kerfed the wood. Well, I had never heard the term kerf. So I went online, he showed me what it was, and actually all kerfing is cutting wood a certain way so that it bends. And in this particular case, you would have to be cutting MDF wood so that it bends. So naturally, that sparked an interest in me because I work a lot with wood, and this is something you see all the time, whether it's in furniture or buildings. You see it done, you just don't realize how it's done. So I decided I'm going to surprise him with trying to make this Kerf speaker box for his 12-inch subwoofer. I'm going to need the help of my oldest son because he does blueprints and he's a CAD designer and he also knows about speaker boxes. So I'm going to need help from him, and I'm going to have to get some supplies and tools that I don't have. But I'm really excited about this because I'm going to have to learn about this from beginning to end. So I have been, you know, researching and reading up and watching YouTube videos on how it's done. But I'm up for the challenge. Now, there is something that I want to explain to you. I want to apologize up front. I got a new camera for Christmas and just for YouTube so that I could stop using my phone. So I started out with this camera, but it's not recording well. And as you can see, my introduction did not record well at all. It wouldn't even play. So you're going to get a little bit of this project that I'm doing, not so good as far as video, but the time has passed, so I can't go back and redo it. But I'm going to go back and use my phone until I get my new GoPro working and I learn how to work it. So bear with me and enjoy. So the first thing I really needed for this project was to get some plans on exactly the measurements of how to cut the wood and what I needed to do. So I reached out to my oldest son, who actually does this by trade. This is what he does for a living. And he made me some plans for a speaker box, so I know exactly how to cut the wood. To the left is a square one, which is a basic one, which is what he thought I should start with first. But I'm just going to go for it. And on the right shows you the angle that this wood has to be curved. And I have all of the dimensions. So for my supplies, just to build the speaker box, I got some plans. I got 2 panels of 3/4 inch MDF wood. You don't need 2 panels, but I expect to make a lot of mistakes on cutting this wood before I get it right. I got some clamps to hold it down. I got my wood Gorilla Glue. I got 2-inch wood nails, flathead nails. And then I actually had to invest in a circular saw. And I just got a smaller one, which is a 4-inch blade. I have a scroll saw, but that's not going to cut this wood. So I've already started, and all I've done so far is just line out where I'm going to make my cuts on the circular saw just to get the kerfing. I have quite a few pieces of wood that's 15 inches in height that I got cut from Home Depot when I bought the wood, and that's just so if I make a mistake, I can do it over and I don't feel too bad. So I don't know when this video is going to be finished because I do not have a clue what I'm doing, but I'm just going to take it one step at a time. And my first step is to try to get this wood cut so that I can curve it at a 90-degree angle. So I will be back once I've got that done. Okay, since I've already cut it, I cut the slits that I had drawn out. I just want to go over a couple of things that I did to make sure that I was safe. Did use goggles that I use when I cut wood for my dollhouse. And I also got a mask so I wouldn't inhale any of this sawdust because there is a lot of sawdust. Um, I wasn't happy with this attachment that came with the hyper tough 4.5 inch mini circular drill, only because this attaches to the side of the drill. To the saw, I'm sorry. It attaches to the side, and then you're supposed to put your vacuum hose on it. I have two different vacuums and neither one would hold, so pretty much the sawdust was coming out of here. And because of that, I could only do one cut at a time, and then I had to vacuum it up so that I could actually see the lines for the next one. So that I wasn't happy with. As far as handling, it's a little heavy, but I was able to get it done. This is the first time I've used it, so I was able to get everything set so that I could get the cut that I wanted. These are 1-inch cuts, and one mistake, since I'm doing this, first time I'm doing this, I'm going to show you the one mistake. On the side, I had measured it, don't cut any lower than 1/8 of an inch. And after I did like 5, I didn't think that was going to be low enough to actually bend any wood. So I did like 5 slits and then I stopped. And then I adjusted the saw down to just 1/16. So the rest of these, if you can see, they're down to 1/16, that bottom line. And I'm hoping that will help. I'm going to have to go back and cut the first 5 slits, but I think that'll work. The other thing I did was I took some clamps, just regular clamps, to keep this wood in place, because like I said, I had to use 2 hands because I wasn't strong enough to use one hand with this drill to get it unlocked and started. So I did put clamps on the table. This board did not move at all. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go back and I'm going to make the 5 slits a little bit deeper, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I went ahead and cut those 5 slits down to 1/16 and cleaned everything up. And this is my first time trying this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Oh my gosh, will you look at that? There's a possibility that I'm going to get my 90-degree curve. First try, guys. I'm so excited. Here's a better view of that wood that I just curved. I got so excited I forgot to take a picture of it. So this is just giving you an idea what it looks like all the way around to the side. I actually measured this a little bit longer because I wasn't too sure how I was going to put the slits on. So now I have to go back and get the exact measurements so that I can, if I have to cut off some of the ends to make it the right size that I'm supposed to be making this. And then it has to be glued, and it has to dry, and then I have to fiberglass it. And then I have to get the top and the bottom of this box also to curve around the top. So I still have a whole lot of work ahead of me, but I just wanted you to see the result of the naked wood actually curved. Okay guys, I've sort of calmed down from kerfing this wood. So I went ahead and I had to use my measurements to draw out all the lines. There's my kerf wood. As you will notice, on this end I had to cut some off so that it fits the actual dimensions. This is one of my walls. This circle here is where the terminal is going to go. And then over here is the other side of the kerf wall. That's where my speaker is going to go. I have my top and bottom in the back with the curves on the end, the curves on the end. I'm going to have to sand those down. and then I have my inside wall. So right now, everything has been cut. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark this board for where the screws are going to go in, and then I will probably, at that point is when I will go ahead and glue the kerf and do what I got to do to it to make sure that wall is up and put the shell together. So I'll be back once I get these holes cut out and start screwing. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and I got the hole for the speaker. I got this cut out, and then I got the hole for the terminal cut out. I did not have a jigsaw, so I bought a small one from Home Depot. It didn't cost me too much money, and it's perfect for me because it's small, it's lightweight, it did the job. I also needed help as far as holding down the wood and making sure this was cut straight. So I got to thank my oldest son for helping me to make sure these circles are the way they should be. I was told that the circles did not have to be neat as long as the component fit in it, but I wanted my circles neat. So now I'm going to go to the side, see where my screws are going to be, so that we can at least put these walls up, and then I can go back and do my sanding and cleaning up and gluing just to get the shell done. Okay, so I have this pretty much the outside, the front nailed down. I went ahead and curved, and as you can see, I filled it up with some wood glue, and I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll go ahead and sand it down. This was really not so easy to do because I needed help to make sure everything was in place. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this dry. I got my little cloth down there, so if it drops on that, that's fine. I can see where it's actually the glue is expanding. But it looks like it's going to work. It's clamped. And I'm not too sure my next step. It'll probably be sanding it after I put the fiberglass on the inside. But so far, so good. It's coming along pretty good because everything was measured pretty good. And the nails and everything, the screws are going in nicely. So, once this dries, I will be back. Okay, as you can see, this box is pretty much put together. Everything has been nailed and, screwed and glued except for the top. So we're actually looking at a top view. All my corners have been sealed. This is just one coat with wood glue. I'm going to go back and do it again. And then in the corner, I already showed you the kerf that was glued together. This is as hard as a brick. But I'm still going to sand it down, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Bondo, which was recommended as the best fiberglass resin. And then I also have the chop mat, the fiberglass chop mat. So I'm trying to get as much done as possible because I'm going to be working with these chemicals, and I really want those to be last. And then I have a lot of sanding to do. But something that was pretty cool that I did, I got my little sander, and I wanted to see if those lines would come off from the kerf. So I just did a small section. So I will be able to get those off when I'm done. So we're going to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and put on the Bondo, and I'll be back. Okay, I got this box put together, and I sanded down the wood glue for the kerfing. And I just put a coat of the Bondo fiberglass resin and chop mat. And I'm going to let this dry and see what happens. I can't wait for this to be finished so I can start decorating. That's really what I wanted to do. But that went on pretty good. I think I got the mixture right. And then I'm going to sand that down and we'll go from there. Here's just a quick shot of me sanding down that kerf. I still got maybe a little bit more to do, but it is nice. It is nice and smooth. I'm just trying to get that little crease out of there. But it does feel good. It's nice and smooth now. There's no lumps. But, and I may not be able to get them out. I don't know. This is the first time I've done this. And it's going to be covered. But I just want to see if I can get it down a little bit more so that those creases don't show. And it's possible that it does show. Okay, this box is finally put together. I got to thank my oldest son because there's no way I could have got that top nailed in there and lifted that box. This box is heavy and the speaker's not in there yet and that speaker is heavy. But right now I'm going to seal the outside. I'm going to sand it down and then I'll be ready to do what I actually wanted to do. And that was just decorate the thing. So here's a quick picture of it. That Kerf came out pretty good. So I'll be back once I start decorating. Well, I just did my first layer of paint. This is going to be a black textured paint. So I'm going to have to do a second layer. I left the Kerf bare because that's gonna be something else. Don't know if you can see it. But I got to admit, this paint was pretty awesome. I watched a YouTube video about this Duratex paint. And oh my God, everything it said it did correctly. I wasn't too sure if I was going to carpet it or bed line it. I just didn't know what I spray painted. I just didn't know what I was going to do. But this Duratex is pretty awesome. It went on with the blue brush right there. Went on quick. It dried quick. There was no odor. What I really liked about using this sponge brush was because I was able to just get it to the edges and not past the edges because I'm doing that section differently. So I was pretty impressed with this product. So right now I'm going to work on the Kerf, how I'm going to design that. And then I will probably come back and do another coat to give it an even rougher texture for the black, the tops, the bottom. Okay, so my Kerf wall, I went ahead and Mod Podged it with an Egyptian print. Beautiful print too. You have to forgive it. This is the way it's sitting on the table, so the print is sort of upside down, and I'm not turning it around for this part of this video. This wasn't so easy to do either. I've done Mod Podge for quite a few years, but this is actually the biggest piece of Mod Podge that I did. But I'm letting this dry, and then I will seal it. And then I think I will go back and do another coat on the Duratex. And then I think we're down to just installing the speaker and the terminals. Had a couple of errors. Like I said, I stretched and I stretched and I stretched to get this all the way to the end and didn't quite make it. So I've got to come up with some way of covering the small strip from the actual fabric. But other than that, it went on, and I went ahead and raised the blade, the sides, so all of the sides are nice and straight and even. So yes, I will have to get another coat of the Duratex on there. But so far it's coming along okay. This project is really not about beauty. This is about making this box functional for his speaker. However, I already have a plan B. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to make a cushion for the top. And I'm going to put it in my living room as a bench because it surely is sturdy. And it's also a nice conversational piece. So, like I said, this will not go to waste. I'm hoping it works. If it doesn't, it'll still be useful. Okay, I am done with what I have to do. Everything is nice and dry. I put a coating on my Mod Podge in the front. I did a second coating of the Duratex. And there's that little piece of fabric. I didn't have enough. So I just took that Duratex and put a little, about an inch strip down the side. So that is it. No, I don't think I'm going to be doing this again. This was a lot of work. I would love to design one, but somebody else is going to have to build these babies because this was a lot of work. And then just a little added touch. I put the Eye of Horus on the top. because he has that tattoo on his neck. So there is my first time building a woofer box for a 12-inch speaker with a curved side. I will come back and let you see if it works or not. Okay, the speaker box is actually finished. The speaker's in. AB, his initials for Adrian Billings. And I am officially done. He just needs to come and pick it up. Hopefully this will be a surprise, and hopefully it will function and work the way he needs it to. Okay. All right, I need you guys to help me do something. I know it's hot down here. What's that? What is it? Surprise!
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Touch it. Everybody got to touch.
Oh, no initials too?
There you go. There's your curved speaker box. Your Egyptian curved speaker box.
Yeah, I like that.
You like it?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I passed that test. Now we got to pass the sound test. They're going to hook it up and hopefully it'll work.